Dan, for the Pledge of Allegiance, I know it's kind of quick and you really snuck up on us. Pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. If you could please silence your phones and call this meeting to order. Has everybody had an opportunity to review the minutes from our July 2nd meeting? And if so, are there any additions or corrections? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Make a motion. I make a motion to go ahead and approve the July meetings as written.
Okay, is there a second? Okay, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. Before we get too far into this, I wanted to offer our condolences for former Councilman Dale Strong, Commissioner Dale Strong. I understand he lost his mother today, sad, and we send our condolences to him and his family and wish him the best. Is there any mail that anybody has received that they would like to share the body of the council? Attorney, do you have anything?
I do not.
Okay. Committee reports. I understand there was a meeting, as I shared earlier with our chair for the Wage and Finance. If you could just, in the future, just let Mark or myself know that you're going to have a meeting so we're aware of that. So we could just, the press contact, or so we don't look kind of silly like, what meeting? So, but I appreciate you working on that part of it and putting some work forth on that. Do you have anything you want to report on your meeting?
Nope, we've got some worksheets that we've compiled and put together, and actually we're just getting an official budget, but we have copies from Jane on all the people asking. We're going over them. Obviously, what was asked for is probably not going to happen because right now, with the total, according to my statistics, the total amount of wages asked for is $566,000. So obviously, we're not going to be able to handle that, but we're trying to work on a compromise for this year and see how the jail tax goes for next year and the general fund, rather than jump whole hog into it all at once. We've got some, once we get to that part of our budget meeting, we've got some information to give the full council on how we made our decisions and our concerns. So
Okay.
we will have one more meeting, hopefully between end of Thursday and when we have our next full meeting.
I would ask that you advertise them, regardless of whether you're 3 people or not. If we have another council member that wants to join and show up, then we're not in compliance with the law. We have always advertised them regardless, whether it's 3 people or 4 people, just to cover our bases. So I'd ask that you meet the guidelines for that and advertise it properly, give the paper the proper notice for that.
But we went by our county attorney's
I
recommendation.
know.
We didn't have to for 3 people. And
We're being
actually-
overly cautious,
Okay, and actually, we don't want a fourth there.
because if anybody comes and sits in here, then we're not in compliance anymore, whether they're sitting over there or they're sitting over here. So sometimes maybe somebody might be interested and just want to sit in here. So I'd rather just cover the bases, and we've always done it in the past, and I'd like to continue that. That way everything's above board, because, you know, we're always doing something mischievous or according to some of the people in the public, so.
In that case, you may have to delay your meetings next week so I can get the 10-day notice in.
No, we don't have to delay our meetings.
Okay, well, we'll have a meeting.
Well, I'm telling you, we need to advertise them.
It's only 48 hours notice
It's only 48
for you to have a meeting.
to get in the paper?
You can, like, you could tell Bob right now and have a meeting
Okay.
48 hours from now.
Okay, Dan was in here. Dan left. Okay, we'll come back to Dan. The Commissioner's representative, they're in the other room. Okay, come back to them. As a reminder, budget hearings start tomorrow at 9 a.m. here. We'll meet today and tomorrow, and then after, tomorrow and Thursday. After Thursday's close, we will discuss when we'll meet again. But we won't recess we'll just recess, we won't adjourn those meetings. because it'll be ongoing. Letter for the council, the housing appointment. Did you have a copy of that? You get it from me? I forgot to bring that. So, as far as new business, there was the council appointments to Fayette County Housing Authority. And they've asked if they remain the same, and one was Tim Rose. And Jane's pulling up the email. What's that?
Give me a second. Carolyn Spurlock.
Carolyn Spurlock. And that was requested by the Housing Authority. And I see no reason to change it. They've been there for several years, and they want to continue serving in that capacity, so I'm okay with that.
Do we need to vote on it?
Yes.
I know that we had started the year, had talked about an application process for
This,
committee appointments.
that was like for
Separate.
us.
Versus the
Right.
housing,
I talked to Jane about that too, because I wasn't
Make sure
sure.
that we
You're
were-
right,
yeah.
exactly. I wanted to make sure we were here to what we said we wanted to do. Those are appointments that we make
and this is
versus
being
appointments
recommended.
that they've made, so. Gene and I did talk about that, so I'm okay with those appointments if the rest of the council is, so if there's any, it's okay, then someone make a motion to approve or disapprove.
I'll make a motion to approve the same Tim Rose and Carolyn Spurlock.
Is there a second? Is there a second?
Sorry.
So a motion on the floor to approve the council appointments for the Fayette County Housing Authority for Tim Rose and for Carolyn Spurlock. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. And we still don't have Dan, and we still don't have,
I am sorry for my cough.
we'll move on to the transfers, additionals, and reductions. First one is for the Cume Jail repairs. The amount requested is $15,000 from the sheriff, and it says that he just pays for all repairs to the jail out of this account.
I make a motion to go ahead and approve the additional appropriation in the amount of $15,000 for jail repairs. It's just a matter of moving it into the line item. We have the money there, and it's not additional funds.
Right.
Second.
We have a second, we have a motion to approve the additional appropriation request for the jail by the sheriff in the amount of $15,000. We have a second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. For the recorder, we have an additional appropriation request in the amount of $537.
The additional appropriation is because I moved my second deputy into the first deputy position at the latter part of last year. There was still money in that line item because the person who had left previous had a higher salary. So when the budget was approved, it was approved at the second deputy position. So I need the additional $537 to be able to pay her out for the rest of the year
Okay.
at her first deputy salary.
I'll make a motion, Your Honor, to approve additional appropriation of $537.
Okay.
I second the motion.
We have a motion to approve the additional appropriation request for the amount of $537 for the recorder's office. It's been seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries.
Thank you. And if I may, I have a couple little informational things to pass along.
Okay.
As you know, we are going through transition from one software provider to another. We are getting all new equipment. We are in training this week. Thursday at close of business, all of our old equipment will be removed, and then Friday during the day, we will be getting all new equipment installed. And There will be additional training, but because we will be in transition, we will have to be closed on Friday. I made sure that the media knew and the commissioners knew this morning, but just so that you are all aware, we will be closed Friday for business. There will be no business transacted in the recorder's office. Monday, we will go live on our new system, and everything's just going to be smooth silk. That's what everybody tells me. But we will go live on Monday. Also, we're going to have a slight personnel changeover because Derek from the auditor's office is going to come to my office, and Amanda is going to go to the auditor's office. So it's just a lateral move. They're just switching. So
Okay.
just so that you're aware of that, there will be different faces in those offices.
All right,
I think that's all I needed to catch you up on. Is that all I was supposed to do, Jane? Okay, all right,
thank you.
thank you.
Lisa?
Good evening, council. I'm here for 144. I know I was here last month, but the lady that I was going to hire decided to go a different direction. So I'm requesting to hire Kelly Scripture. She's moving back from Indianapolis. She's from Connersville.
I move to approve the 144.
Okay, motion to approve the 144. Have a second? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Dan, you almost missed out. You're up next.
I missed it, Dan.
Well, I appreciate the second chance. You've seen the material I left in your chairs. I shared this earlier today with the commissioners. Some of the, just a touch of some of the stuff we were doing in July. This Cradle to Career initiative. I attended it wasn't quite a breakfast and it wasn't quite a luncheon. I think we met at 10 and we had some little sneaky snacks. It wasn't very much. But the reason we were there wasn't for the food. It was to take a look at this Cradle to Career opportunity. If you turn the page and look at that second page in the little packet I gave you, you can see the counties that are in our region. And then as you look down at the bottom, you see where it says kindergarten readiness, third grade reading, middle grade mathematics, high school graduation, and on. These are things that aren't new to any of us, and things that Fayette County is currently already doing. And the same is true in these other counties that are in the initiative. But what they have found as they bring all these forces for good together and re-emphasize the need for education as it relates to workforce, clear down to kindergarten. I know that sounds a little much, but getting a direction set, getting a pattern of learning set, having it reinforced by all the people who touch the lives of those little children as they progress through school, so that when they become juniors and seniors, they just don't look at each other and go, hey, is it time to quit playing video games, and what do we do now? There's a lot of kids like that. So this is an opportunity to help educate and train a generation of workers in the region, and Fayette County figures into it. You can see some of the information there about the East Central Indiana snapshot that shows a list of areas that, as you study and look at, Fayette County is really no better or worse off than any of the other 10 counties. There may be a few that we are either a little higher or a little lower than the others, but it's a universal issue as far as training for workforce and educating people. As you as you read, by 2020, 65% of all jobs in the United States will require post-secondary education or training. And I think we're kind of a diehard community that thinks, man, that's for all those other folks. I can probably slip by and find a job somewhere and it'll all work. It won't. And this is what this is about. Any questions on that from the council regarding the Cradle to Career initiative that we do not have started in Fayette County? There is a very nice model that is up and running in Delaware, Muncie, that it would be worth looking at sometime in the future in a different meeting. But I wanted to make you aware of it. The next thing is the Opportunity Zone, which is an opportunity for those who want to invest in areas that were deemed as low income and were eligible for the designation. And our governor and a team nominated 156 census tracts with the help of advisors and so forth. And the map, which I apologize for the terrible copy, it's very light. You can see 24th Street and Roberts Park and Park Road is barely, you can kind of get your bearings as to where this zone is. The new Walmart, the old Walmart, the Kmart, all the businesses on either side of 30th Street, in fact, clear down to 24th, are in this zone. And I went to a summit on the 23rd of July, which addressed a lot of the mechanics of the opportunity zones that are fairly new, really. In fact, there's the one that I know of that's in use. If you flip to the back page of that summit, where you see 130 to 220 Indiana Opportunity Zone Funds in action, then it says Valley House Flats. That is in Brookville. So there is an opportunity zone in process right now. It's just a few miles down the road from us. And by coincidence, I know the developer. His name is Bruce Rippey. He used to own Ron Weber Furniture in Batesville. He's a great guy. He did the development of Ron Weber Flats, which is senior housing in Batesville. Then he's partnered with this Mick Wiltz, who owns the Third Place in Brookville. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's got the garage door that folds up there on the street, and it's a real nice little restaurant / meeting place. And he's the investor, and this opportunity zone helps investors invest into communities where there are opportunity zones. It's a little bit above my pay grade to understand. I brought our CPA with me to this summit, and he had a lot of questions. But at any rate, we've got someone just down the road here, and we know who they are, and we've got a pretty good relationship. So we can attract an investor, and I've spoke to a couple. They're looking at senior housing in Connersville. In a couple of the locations, the old Kmart is one, and the Herb Building is another. And so there's a possibility that the opportunity zone could play into their decision in investing in Connersville. And then the third item, unless there's a question on opportunity zones.
If it could be like for redevelopment of an existing building then, it doesn't have to be.
Absolutely could
new
be. The
construction.
Valley House was exactly that. It's the rehabbing of the building as it exists, and then they're also building on some market-based apartments on the backside of it that are totally new. So there's a rehab of some old and then construction of some new. There'll be some, I think, assisted living, not assisted, low cost, subsidized, and then some market-based that'll be a little more and a little different in its function, a little nicer. So, yes, to answer your question, to redevelop existing, yes.
He said he's looking, I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice. the Kmart building and the old Herb lumber building.
They're in the zone.
What are the odds of that happening at this point?
It depends. It depends on a lot of things. If her building, for example, is still in the estate of Fayette Regional, should somebody decide to buy that at a bargain, getting properties at bargains is certainly a big push, or that would be a catalyst to make this thing happen if you can get a property at a below market rate. And I think Kmart and Herb would be two that would, you could probably negotiate a pretty sweet deal. And that's what's attracted the one gentleman who is interested, who had a little bit to do with the Ron Weber, I can't remember the last name of Ron Weber. It's not Ron Weber Flats. It's, but it's something like that. It's a housing unit that Bruce Rippey converted from an old 300,000 square foot factory into senior housing. So, last thing is this READ, Healthier Community Day, that I'm sure you've heard about. It's on the last page of this little packet. Kind of gives all the details. This is a press release from the Chamber of Commerce. And it'll be a day of fun. If you want to go to the ribbon cutting, that starts at 8:45. And then there will be more things that happen between 9 and noon with the fitness classes led by HealthWorks instructors, the rock climbing wall, face painting, strongman competition, scavenger hunt, information about READ, resources and screening, and inflatables. So there's a lot of fun things to do. It doesn't cost anything. It's all free, and it'll be kind of our community's way of rolling out the welcome mat for READ in kind of a good way. And that's all I have, unless you have any questions for me.
Dan, or like this Cradle to Career and the Opportunity Zone, is it like online where you can, you know?
The information
Google-
is certainly out there, and in fact, there is, I would recommend you go to, on the Opportunity Zone, if you just type in Indiana Opportunity Zone, it will take you right to the Indiana Gov site that will show you, and just tag Fayette County. And then you'll have to enlarge it about 400 times to see because ours is extremely small compared to other communities. It is a very, very small. I'm not really impressed with the selection. I'm glad that those areas we've talked about are in it, but then it swings to the east, which borders right up to the river, so there's a lot of floodplain land, and I don't know that there'd be a lot of investors that would want to do a development in a lot of the area that they've designated. I don't know how they came up with this, to be quite honest, but I'm not a government guy. Good question. Any others? If not, thank you very much for your support, County Council.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There's no commissioners that step back in, so if there's no patron concerns, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Can we make an announcement? We have an event, we've mentioned it before when Sharman presented last month, but it is this month. It's August 23rd from 9 to 11 in the morning. We have a speaker coming in to address trauma-informed care. It really impacts all of us. And then that evening, there's a concert at 7 o'clock that is now free with a ticket. And it's a big deal. And it really, I know everybody says it, but we, just to put it in perspective, the speaker is $10,000. And how often can we afford to pay $10,000 to hear a speaker?
I'd speak for less than that.
I'm sorry? Yeah.
It would be very good.
And so this is a finely orchestrated event. And so we'd love to have everyone at all parts.
The speaker, you will be moved. I guarantee you can't go to it and not be moved by the speaker's story.
Thank you for sharing that.
And I'm making a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
We have a motion to adjourn second. You get your voice back by tomorrow. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Meeting adjourned.